Welcome, everyone. This is Glenda Dawson, and I have LD here with me, and you're watching Glenda's Dragons Den. I wanted to thank you for being here with us week after week, watching, catching up on YouTube or the Conscious Awakening Network or on the Parapost Network. Um, so, just want to thank you and appreciate all the messages and the chat that you do and the emails you sent us. So we want to thank you. Tonight we have Bill, who has been here with us before, but tonight he's going to talk about a special event that's coming up and a little more about his experiences with the skull.
That's Bill Homann, right?
Bill Homann. Yes, not this Bill. I'm sorry, people.
Yeah. Well, we have that Bill too, but
Not this Bill.
he's with us every week.
How are you, Bill? How are you?
Doing good. Very glad to be here and starting the show. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. We're really glad that you're here again, and you decided to come back and tell us more about it, your experiences and any events and stories about with the skull.
Well, that's what it is. It's been very interesting because being around the skull kind of, especially if you let it go, it keeps things really busy and keeps you going in all different interesting and meeting interesting people and traveling all over the world really. So what it is, it's what I believe and I feel and has worked with me. It's a gift for humanity at a time when the world needs help. And in my opinion, we're probably pretty close to that right now. And it's just a communication device is what they call it. And it channels this a type of energy. It's like ancient energy from the creator. So it kind of opens you up to this universal love. And pretty much that's probably the thing that the world needs more than anything is coming into the understanding that that's what it's all about here, coming to realize that we're all one, and coming to find a balance with that and using that energy to it's a forgiveness and it's a way of opening up the world to realize, hey, we're here together and we're all one under God, and it's time to come back to that knowledge. And if you're going to make a world, it's better to make one that you're happy with and you have fun with. And so that's kind of where we kind of push and what it's all about. It's giving joy and peace and happiness and put that as the mainstream, even with all the stuff that's happening negative. It's a matter of being able to take your mind and put it like in a 0 point. And with all the things that are driving us into fear, we're taking it and looking forward and seeing a world that is what almost like unbelievable, because the skull has said before, we could have peace today if enough people came together in their minds and wanted that peace. It would happen. So I'm ready for that. I think if we have to have a future and a timeline, it's that's what we need to put that in our minds, our hearts, and let's see that come in to fruition now. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, in my paradigm, what we have is opportunities for love. And the last time you were here, we had more opportunities for love than I have known in my lifetime. And now we have even more opportunities for love. So it's all how you frame it.
Yeah.
And for those people who haven't seen you and the skull before, this is the very skull that inspired Steven Spielberg, correct?
Yes, it is. Yep, that's it's what started it all as far as the skull revolution in the world. Now, when it first appeared, as far as on public, it was in 1970, and it was with it was William Shatner had a movie Miracle of the Gods, and with that they had the skull on there, and that was one of the first times when people, all over were able to connect with it. It has a special power of connecting with certain people, and if the person has like a past connection with it, it draws them to it. So that's what's been happening, what we've been doing.
Mm. So now does the skull tell you or give you directions as to where to go?
It's like this. It's not real like, oh, you got to go here, but it's
Right.
it's very gentle and it keeps pushing you. And so after you've been around it enough, you've learned that it's a lot better to go with those feelings than not, because when you go with them, everything falls into place and it turns out really good. And if you don't, it kind of gives you a bad day or two or so. So with that, it's good to be able to just listen to it. It's like an inner voice, and I just follow it.
So you surrender to the energy that the skull has, of course, and you just the guidance that it gives you. You know that if it guides you, everything will be okay, and that you're not going to run into any interference or any blockages. So,
Well, that's not always the truth, but
oh,
there's sometimes some pretty good blockages, but it's a matter of learning and going with it. And
mhm.
yeah, that's it. That's what makes life fun. Is if everything went perfect, we'd always be looking for something to go wrong. So by just naturally going, it gives you the good and the bumps too along the way. So yeah. So
It gives you the opportunity to evolve and to grow.
there you go. That's it. And if you're going to be here on this planet, I think that's what I find is my joy is never stop learning, and there's always something to learn. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to learn to manifest our free will in a dimension with consequence. So
Right.
the skull is not here to usurp our free will, but it kind of nudges you in a direction for the purpose of evolution, correct?
Very much, yes, for sure. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Now, tell us some of the stories of your experiences with it.
Okay. Well, let's see. When it says that it's a learning thing. I was taught by Anna on how she wanted me to take care of it and what to do, but there's always learning, and I found working with it. There's three things that stand out, and it does quite well. One thing, it works with the energetic ley lines on the earth and helps balance and open these energy fields. So that works good, and that's taken me in many places. As a matter of fact, I just got back yesterday from working on the East Coast and working with some of these ley lines and just working with the skull and opening up some of these centers that sometimes been blocked for hundreds of years or more. But so I've learned it does that. It also works really good with meditation. So if we get together and meditate,
Right.
it amplifies it and expands it. So if it's like 5 people turn out to be this like a force of thousands of people sending their energy. So if you come together with good thoughts and good things, it's really a positive force in the world, in the universe. So, and it's that's what I've learned, and it works really good. And another thing, it works like you and me working together one on one, because as you do, the skull kind of mirrors a person's inner self, and it brings out the good and the bad. But what it does is it helps the person to remove of those blockages and the things that they really don't need in life. And sometimes because of the past have been holding on to it. It's like sometimes when you were growing up and somebody said you can't do this, and for some reason you've taken that into your life and believe it. It's really good when you can break those down and free it.
Mm.
But I've seen, sometimes it works really smooth and easy, and then if a person is not really on balance to where they should be, it does kind of stir up their life a little bit, but it always comes out in the end that it's the best. So, but those are the three things I work with, and I find that it's a real help for humanity at this time.
So we're on the East Coast. Were you?
Let's see, I was around Hilton Head and the Savannah.
Nice.
You're on the East Coast too, aren't you? Or
Mhm.
Yeah, we're a little further north, but
Yeah.
That's a nice area. I've been to Hilton Head and
yeah,
certainly fond of it.
Hmm.
And where are you headed next?
okay, well, there's a conference, a Star Knowledge conference that's out in South Dakota. And, that's probably not the best time to go, but we're going in about 1 week. We're going to be heading out there. And it was set up and started by Chief Golden Light Eagle. And we became friends. And he is probably one of the most amazing people that I've met. And as I travel around, and I've really met some really special and wonderful people. But he had this gift of really, he could look at you and he would be able to kind of know everything about you and your life and everything. So he was quite amazing. But he has the Star Knowledge Conference is now run by his daughter, and it's out near the reservation, Lakota, in South Dakota. So I'll be out there, and I'll be out. My time will be like the 11th and 12th of November. I'll be there.
Mm.
And is that open to the public?
Yes, it is. Yes, and if you look Star Knowledge Conference, and it'll come up, and you'll be able to find the information on it. So there's a lot of good speakers there from different parts, and they're doing work to really raise the consciousness and open people to know that we've got to break through the paradigms where the earth is not always been what we've been reading in the history books is not exactly all the truth, and through their connecting with the star beings, etc., they're bringing that knowledge through, and I find that very important at this time.
Yes, it is very important. So, you've been going every year?
This is the first year, so
Nice.
so I'll be excited to be there, and it'll. I hope all I would like to know is if we could say it won't be like 30 below zero and a blizzard, but going to that area at that time, it's you never know. So, but
Never know. So far, I have friends there in that area, and they're telling me that the temperatures and the weather is holding. So
sounds good. Yeah, I have a good feeling. I feel that we can make it there. So yeah, but so that's what we're doing. It kind of winding down the year. Kind of when in July we look back at our schedule and realize that all the way up to July, the whole year, we'd only been back home. I think it was less than 1 month. So after that, we started trying to stay, in the area a little bit, catch up with things and everything. And it's really neat. Years ago, we wouldn't be able to have a show like this, but the new technology, and now we're taking it as natural, but it's really quite amazing how you can work with the Zoom rooms and stuff like that. And, we do Zoom one-on-one to help people that, would like to have that type of experience with the skull. And even, being, on Zoom, the energy, you should be able to feel it quite strongly where you're at, because it seems to be able to do that. And even the people that are watching, there's a like a connection to the energy, which is really, I don't understand it totally, but I find it very neat and interesting.
Well, last time we spoke, you were mentioning that you were working on getting a center built.
Yeah, that's what, we've really been feeling that it's time, not that I'm getting old or anything, but
Well, it beats the alternative.
yeah. So I think that would be nice to have a place where the skull could be safe and people could come to see it and be with it. Because the way Anna wanted it and the way I feel, that the skull, it needs to be around people and have people around it. So in doing that and having it, it's not stuck in a museum with 1-inch thick glass where there's no communications with it, but you can get close to it and work with the energy is what I try to leave that as being possible. So that's why with the foundation, I'm working to find an area where we work with the energy lines of the earth. So I want well in a very special energy places, and then I'd want kind of maybe hilly with lots of trees, maybe a little creek going through it that you could have a meditation walking through it. I like to bring in people to build right there that have different gifts. Like I've met a lot of really special people over the years that are healers. They have they're working with meditation, working with all the different spiritual gifts, working with natural healing, and with and working with I'd like to have it for the young people so they can have a way of having into their growth as they grow, the ability to learn how to connect with their inner self, and be able to focus their mind and create in this world like we were made to do. So those are things I've been looking at and feeling, and I have come into something that's really interesting right now. And I can't really say too much about it because it won't be out probably by Thanksgiving, where it will start being really open to everyone. But it's an app, and it's an app for the spiritual community, and it's such that you can have it has all the better points of Facebook and all the better points of TikTok, and then it's added other things where you can work with groups and stuff. You can have people come to you and then be able to connect immediately with the YouTube and put your videos out and everything. So there's a whole bunch of really smooth gifts that this will do. It's called Divine Ray, and so when Divine Ray gets going, I think it's going to be something that the spiritual community is going to be able to really feel comfortable with and use, and it's something that it's very timely because now with this you have all these different modalities coming there, and even when you're working, you could put your shows on it. You could do all different things like that, but it's all very individual, but also people that are just learning right now. People are being awakened and they don't know where to find anything. And then with that, they could get all the different types of spiritual gifts that are being brought out right now. We'll have those people together, and it will be all over the world in different languages. So we'll all be brought together. So I find that is going to be really, really exciting. And we're getting that close to making it happen. There's a lot of other little things that it has that no one ever tried before that I think is going to make it where it will really be helpful and exciting, really.
And a place where you can actually unite with other people that are spiritual and are just alike, and don't have to worry if you open up and you talk about it.
Right. Yeah. You say something and then they cut you off or something.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. They want you to come through with all the different gifts, and it's not just one. It's all of us have a little way different of doing it and bringing it out and together. So that should be neat. Yeah. So
Looking forward to it.
And that's in the virtual world. What about the actual physical site? Have you made any progress?
you know what? I've been really busy, but I'm just opening up the thing and the possibility. This helping and working with this divine ray is probably going to help to find a place that really will be comfortable for the skull, because it all has to be in balance. And if the balance is right, then yeah, I'll be there. But I trust the Creator that things will happen as they should and when they should. So right now we're still looking, but anybody out there that has a feeling and is drawn to help in any way, we're always open to and appreciate anything like that, for sure.
Very good. Now, can you tell us about anything? You don't have to name names or anything, but any experiences that you've had, that you have seen or witnessed or felt the skull help someone, or
Yeah, well, like really, Anna had had a suitcase full of letters from people that been with the skull, and it I can't say, oh, it's a healing, but it has a healing energy. And I'm not going to say it heals people, because you can't do that, but and it doesn't heal because, oh, you come here and it's like, oh, heal that. It doesn't work just because I say it. It does if there's a special probably something on the mental, physical, or spiritual level that connects with the energy of the skull. I've seen really a lot of miracles happen. I know a lot of people that wanted to have babies and never could. It could be very dangerous in that way, but that has happened before, for sure. So, but it's just a matter of letting you be yourself and connecting to that energy and just feeling it as it's supposed to be. We're a lot of the things we have as problems in our life. I mean, all of them. For some level, it's something that we've drawn to us in thought or whatever, and so it's a matter of if you want to clear something out, no matter how bad it is on the physical, you can't just like a lot take a pill or cut it out, but you need to go to the area where it was created in your part of your psychic or whatever, and release that. And the biggest thing is we hold a lot of negative emotion in us. Somebody does something and you're all mad and everything like that, but it festers inside of us, and it's not doing us any good, and it doesn't hurt them. So a very important thing to say is when you have a problem and you don't, with someone or something, because really everything that we see that we don't like is probably some part of us that we don't want to face. So if you can say, I forgive you and I send you love. If you think about someone right now and just say that, I forgive you and I send you love, it's like a tremendous weight goes off your shoulders. And it's a real freeing thing. And it's a matter of, get on ourself and our life in balance, so we're not holding on to stuff that is hurting us more than anyone else. It's a way of freeing your heart, because your heart and your mind is how we create here on this physical plane. You have to think about it in your mind and then bring it into your heart. And then with emotions, you can do or be anything. And that's what we're taking back, is we're taking back the power to realize that we're more than just a physical life beating around in this 3D world, but we really have the power to make differences in our life and in the world by taking back the knowledge of our true powerful self. And I think that is what's happening more than anything. And I think this is a repeat of a period of time, in Atlantis, where there was the negative and the positive was happening, but people went more into fear. And people that have soul spirit connections, those are the creator beings. And if you can be made in fear, then you start creating that in your life. And I think that's where the problem was in Atlantis, because they
Mm-hmm.
they brought all that negative in and created and destroyed the whole of the civilization. But what's interesting now, and you find that if you work with people and understand the past lives and stuff, that the majority of people now have that connection that I run into from that Atlantis period of time. And you have the people that are here trying to uh, save the world, and there's people here that are trying to destroy the world. But basically, it's because we're 3D and there is this yin and yang force happening. You know, if it was all everything was peaceful and everything was good, and oh, you're having a good day, you got a job you like, you come home, turn on the TV, and your favorite show's on, you drink some beers and have potato chips, and everything's good. But with that, there would be no advancement.
Right.
So now you got out and you got all those things attacking you all the time. But it's not, it's pushing us to get out of the stands and get on the field and play the game of
Mm-hmm.
life, so we can raise to this higher consciousness. So it's not good or bad, but it's a matter of we need both the good and bad in the physical plane to push us to raise to this higher consciousness, which has happened throughout mankind. You've seen where things are bad, but it pushes to higher knowledge, learning more things. We're learning more stuff daily than we did in hundreds of years back in the day. Things are with the computers and everything that's being brought out. It's we're just expanding with a level that's just really exciting, really.
Mm-hmm.
And if used in the right way, it could be tremendous to the possibilities of a future with all the possibility of having this free energy and being able to make a world of peace and joy and love that is what the gift for all of us if we work together on it. But if we don't have something pushing us, we're not going to do it. And we have the same thing happening in Atlantis. Are we going to come into this ascending into a higher consciousness, or
Mm-hmm.
are we going to just destroy everything and go back to the caveman days as we did at least 5 times in the past and probably more than that, and have to start all over? And what's interesting, every time a civilization is being rebuilt, they take and learn a different way. So it's just a little bit like the Chinese coming out with the acupuncture for healing, and the Western medicine coming out with the herbs and cut out your whatever's bad. And there's a difference in both, but
Mm-hmm.
because we started all messed up, and then they're over there by themselves, so they have to find a way that works, and we're over here, so we have to find a way it works. But now with the world all coming together, we share all this, and I think the true healing is learning to heal the self with the mind, because we have the power in ourself to make our life and our world whatever way that we choose. And a lot of times we're choosing the wrong thing and having a bad day. But I find that as we're learning, more and more people are taking back and realizing that, hey, let's do what's best for me, my family, my friends, my world. And coming into that consciousness, we're having fun. We're in because the skull says it's time for fun, it's time for joy, it's time for happiness, and
Mm-hmm.
all the state of mind. If something happens and you and see what's happening in the world and it's so bad, and you think about it, and all day long you wake up and it's in your dreams and everything, well, you're helping the creating of that negative stuff. But if you can take your mind and put it right in the center and don't think forward or back, just hold it in a center point, and then think about, oh, here's what I want in my world, my timeline that's coming. I want this, and I want this for my family, and I want this for my country, and I want this for my world. And we put that out there, we're making the difference. And it doesn't take millions of people to do it, but it takes a group of people with their mind and their hearts focusing the right way. So that's really the exciting thing that we got going right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's really getting closer, and I think anybody you ask right now, they can feel something is coming, and they don't know what it is, but they feel something's coming. And in my opinion, we got something really good coming, and it's going to be all we can ever hope for or be, but we have to be able to hope for it, or we can't have it in our life. So put out that good thoughts, and meditation is really good. Meditation, and the skull also says, if you want to save the world, it takes prayer. And so coming together in prayer is so important. And also with the meditation and learning to control your mind and your space and open up to these different dimensions, see, because we live in a frequency band that's very, very small, and we believe everything is, oh, this table's here and it's going to be here when I come back. And was it when you left, did it go away? Well, it could have, but we have this ability to create that we've been doing since we were children. Coming just as we come out of the womb, we're starting to see how the world is and how it reacts, and we start building these the whole of what we have for our reality. So it's just a matter of, let's put good stuff in our world, good things and peace, send out that love as opposed to negative stuff. And even if somebody is having a bad day and putting it out, if you can remember to just say the simple thing, I forgive you and I send you love, it breaks through all that and it takes it back to the 0 point. And that's kind of what I'm finding is very interesting right now and very fun. And let's get some joy in life. Let's have some fun. And is it easy? It's not. I can't say it's easy, but if you have a choice between making something really good or making something that's not so good and a lot of fear, it's really the fear we have to be able to get away from, and trusting that we can make and it will be right. And with that, it's making a major change in our life and our family. And the more people we see and the more people are doing it, it's really exciting. We're most exciting time in the history of the world, and we're living it right now. And a good amount of the people are sleeping right through this great time. So wake up, have some fun, enjoy it, create good stuff. If you want something nice in your life, you're the creator. Make it happen. So.
Well, you started with two of the 4 pillars of making a Ho'oponopono.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you.
That is so powerful, isn't it? Yeah. That should be out there more and more. That is so powerful. And for you bringing that forward, I really like it. I sometimes mess it up, but it's really it opens up the world to the possibilities of good stuff. So that's why when we work with the skull and we do meditations, it's a way of sending out this love and light to the planet. We go into like a platinum light coming from the heavens, and we expand it out. It really you do it with your heart and your mind, and it's really pretty neat how it works.
Right. So the intention would be to feed the light instead of feeding the dark.
There you go. And we do it with our minds. It's
Right.
like, let's say you get up in the morning and you make your coffee. Oh, good day. And you walk out and get in the car and you're drinking the coffee as you're going to work, and somebody cuts you off and the hot coffee spills right in your lap. And oh boy, you really give them to that guy and everything. And he waves and drives away, and boy, you're really mad, but you get to work finally and you're starting to forget about it. And then you walk in the door and somebody opens the door and the rest of the coffee spills on you. And that's how your day goes. But the other person, he forgot all about it and he had a perfect day. So a matter of attitude. So try to, when things happen, instead of getting into the emotion of it, start backing off a little bit and then look at the whole thing, because there's things that come into your life that are hard and you think, oh, how can I get through this? But these are really blessings if you take them that way and just say, oh, here it is. I'm gonna have fun and get through this. And if you have that attitude, it really makes going through a hard day a lot better for sure.
And you start small. You start with that
Oh,
first thing.
Mhm.
You know, maybe you didn't need the caffeine that day.
there you go.
There you go.
Yeah,
Of course, the world needs me to drink coffee every morning.
I'm right with you.
But
I found my special purpose.
Is that right?
he brings me coffee every morning. He wants to
Gotta have
save the world.
Save the That's
world,
my
yeah.
small part.
A little bourbon when you go to bed is kind of nice, I think.
That's using the old bean.
Yeah, good old Bean. Yep, good old Jim Bean, right?
Or coffee bean.
Coffee Bean. Oh, even that. Yeah. So yeah, it's been interesting because it's taken me out and met a lot of people. I like to work with the indigenous and from all over the world, because they're not all of them, but a lot of them have not forgotten the ways, and they are able to start to bring that knowledge through. That's why the reason I'm really looking forward to going to the Star Knowledge Conference. And if we can use their knowledge for helping the earth, put it back in balance with the water, the air, and the land, and they have their way of doing it. They have done it for eons of time, and they need to bring that out and help us to put that in to making this back to being like a paradise again, which it's supposed to be.
Do you find the connecting thread with working with indigenous populations is gratitude?
Gratitude, yeah, gratitude is really good. Yeah, and that's the real key to life in all things is we get help all the time and we forget to say thank you, and it's really a simple thing, but it's a very important thing. Well, the way with working with the skull, it's really connected to a lot of interdimensional beings, so they're around it, and but they do give you help if you ask for their help. And so many people forget to ask the angels and their guides and their the ones that work directly with them. And they forget to say thank you and please find a parking place for me, or whatever you do. Be able to ask for help, and you get help, and then be grateful for it too, because the gratefulness, you're right, is so important, because the entities on the other side, that really they'll work so hard, but all it takes is that being able to be thankful for what they've done for us.
Mm-hmm. Acknowledgement that we appreciate what they have done, the steps that they have taken.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I have found that a lot of indigenous, yes, I can't talk today, are very
I'll try and
spiritual.
put my hand a little further up your back.
Are very spiritual. The older generations, especially, are very connected to the stars, to the beings from other planets, as galactic, to use a word. They're also very connected to beings from other dimensions, and it isn't like a game to them or anything. It's their way of life. At least that's what I have found and have experienced from my friends.
And the rhythm of the earth.
Yes, the rhythm of the earth. They work with the earth and all of nature, really. So
that is so true. Yeah, and that's being in balance with earth and working with nature. That's pretty what living in a big city, we definitely forgot a lot of that. So it's being able to bring that knowledge out. And what's so neat at this time that we have all these people that have these gifts and abilities in these different fields, and they're being able to bring them forward. That's why I'm excited about the app that's coming out, because it'll be a place where all of us can find, because everyone's a little different. We're wired, and different things are calling to us, and it gives us an opportunity to find the knowledge that's most important to us at the time. So, we don't all grow this step, but this person is drawn to this, and he learns and everything. Then he can go to another step. But the thing is, with the app, it's going to be neat because all the different modalities of spirituality are going to be there. They're also going to have a news page on it, and it's giving the news, but the only thing you can put on it is good news. And that's a pretty wild thing, because we don't have that for sure. No. So yeah, I'm getting excited about when this thing opens up. I think it's going to really be positive for the world. It's divine. So going for that part of ourselves that we are the divine sons and daughters of the Creator. So yeah.
And it would be nice to open up an app and not see negative news.
And negative news and all that other stuff
right.
Yeah. So
and beyond that, propaganda.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It would definitely be good for the soul, and definitely our higher selves.
Be able to see greatest good served.
Yeah, I think it'll be, it will really, we were moving along and we're learning and growing, but this will be a platform to really even make it grow faster. So that's really can't wait to see how it's going to turn out.
I'm looking forward to it. Definitely have to let us know when it's out.
Oh, I sure will. Yeah.
So what experiences have you had taking the skull to people, or one-on-one, or a group that has made you really remember, like it's something that really has happened that was miraculous, for example?
Yeah. Just to say though, like I go to different parts of the world, and I have people ask you, "Oh, what do you like the best?" And I always have to say that I like something in every part, because I always like try to look for the good things. As far as that goes, I've it's you never know. If I have 1,000 people, every one of them will get something different out of it. It's not like one thing fits all. So I find that so amazing, because I can be there and I'm going to start working with someone one-on-one with the skull, and I never know what will come out of it, So that's so exciting. And what it does is, they're working with their different gifts and ability, and they wouldn't be drawn to the skull unless there was a real strong pull. So you have people that they just seem nice and easygoing, and all of a sudden they're bawling their eyes out and opening up to this energy, and it changes something in them. It's so that right there. I can never ever say, "Hey, I'm used to that." That's because you never know what it's going to be, and it brings out what's inside the person on a deep level. So it's a gift. Like I feel each one of us, it's important. They always say, what's my purpose here? Your purpose is just being true to yourself and bringing that individual beautiful self and being all you can be that way, and bringing it forward. Like with the work you're doing, you're bringing different people in, you're touching them, and you're bringing out, and maybe it's one thing that one person says that'll touch them in a way that starts to change their life, or does change their life. And you're doing that, and you've been called to do this, but you've been called because you're listening to that inner voice, and all of us have that. And like my job is I take the skull around and work with people, and I change lives and open their hearts. And I say, whoa, this is the best job in the world. I like it but it's just what I do. Where another person like you're doing, you're changing lives too, and you're doing it in the way you do it. And that's the blessing of finding and being ourselves. The more we can be our individual self, not trying to be something that fits into a box that we don't fit, but just enjoying being yourself and listening to that inner voice of what makes you happy, and follow that joy. And I find there's no more joy than being able to change lives and make people, find their truth and their life and their joy, and being able to do that and see that, wow, that feels really good. So by doing something for someone with your gift, being a musician, whatever that special skill is, and doing it and changing lives, it comes back to you multiplied. There's nothing better. You could be working a job 8 to 5 that you don't like, and I got millions in the bank or whatever. But the real joy is being able to have your true gift and share it with humanity. And through that, you find these different souls that are being helped by it, and they come back with the love, and they just feel that energy. And it's really, to me, there's nothing better in it. So I have a lot of fun just by doing that job. So, and it's been, like I say, it's been interesting. So
Yeah,
What people take for granted is when you see a beach, every grain of sand on that beach holds its place. And without any one grain of sand, that beach is not the same. And the fact that people may or may not be able to perceive the absence of that grain of sand isn't about the beach, it's about you.
right. Wow.
But nevertheless, every grain is as important as every other grain.
And that's like the human race. We have billions of people, but each one of us is important, and each one of us have something inside them they can give to make a difference in the world. So, and I find that if one person comes into a higher consciousness, it's like throwing a pebble in the pond, and it ripples and raises the consciousness of humanity. And that's where we're at right now, because over here, this person is coming through with this knowledge, and this one over here is bringing this out. And as we do that, it's just continuously bringing in the frequency to this higher dimensional life that we're living now. So it's really, really exciting for sure.
And it's not just the dynamic of giving, it's also the dynamic of taking. My mother, in her 70s, became upset that she was no longer able to do the volunteer work that she had done. And I said to her, well, what did you do? And she said, well, it wasn't much. I would bring people water or a magazine, but I can't do that anymore. I said, well, now's your opportunity to give someone else that gift of being able to do that for you.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that is so true. Thank you. Wow.
And she said, well, before we had the discussion, well, I feel useless. I said, well, when you brought them the water, did you make them feel useless? And she said, no, I was grateful for the opportunity. I said, well, this is your time to give that to someone else.
Oh, yeah, that is right. That is so good. And it's just a matter of, consciousness, being able to take your mind and, seeing the other side of it. Is this cup half full, or is it half empty, and being able to discern and get the best out of everything is so good. Yep.
And create that opportunity of fulfillment for someone else that may not be able to do something that you would consider profound, but it's profound if it helps you.
Right. Yep. But it just there's a lot, isn't there? It's pretty exciting right now, isn't it? When you think, oh, all the bad things in the world, and everybody's thinking that, whoa, we're about ready to leave the end of the world and all that. But this is the most exciting time we've had, with all the knowledge that's coming out, and people are learning and changing and growing and taking back their power to make a world that's peace and joy and love for all of us. Yeah.
And all of the opportunity to make a difference.
Yeah, make a difference. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, it's been interesting. I can tell a few stories. Like there's all different things. I was with Anna and she taught me for the last years of her life, but she had some really amazing stories. One of the things that she did is when she was in Canada and she was not very healthy and everything. And I said, well, come back to Indiana. I'll get you back in good shape and we'll have some adventures. And so, okay, she decided that she sold her house, 4-bedroom house. We put everything in a big truck and drove it to Indiana. So now she's in Indiana. But then we started, with healing stuff and just natural. She got her strength back and everything. And she wanted to go down and see Honduras and Belize one more time. And so here we go. She calls her friend, the psychic, Carol Davis up in Canada, and says, hey, Carol, we're going on a trip. Pack your bags. And that's how she does it. And when Sammy says something, yeah, little lady, but everybody listens. So here Carol meets us in Chicago, and we fly down to Honduras. And this is after I worked all day and worked late, and I finally got there just in time to leave to go catch the plane. And we took off when I got there, and we rented a car, and I'm the driver, so I'm driving down these mountain roads, and it's like straight drop-offs in Honduras as we're going up the mountain, and they're hanging on. But Sammy, she just has this look on her face that everything's good, and here we go. But we got to this little village of Copan, and while we got there, and that's one of the places she wanted to go first, because her father knew people that were the archaeologists at that site. And it's the site where they found the most as the most uncovered site in all the Mayan Empire. And so she wanted to meet with some of the people and see if she could find some of the old people that may have known her father or her. So we got along, and we stopped. There was a sign that said hotel. So, okay, we're close. I drove up there. We got a room at this hotel. It was really nice. And then went in to meet different people. So Carol and I wanted to see some stuff. So we went to town, and Sammy said, I'll stay here. But she was guiding everything. We didn't know it. And we went down, and we had horses, and they took us horseback, and we rode through the village and up this real steep hill to the top of where there was a old hacienda. And not knowing anything, we get off the horses, and we're meeting the lady that owns the place, and she's finds out about Carol, who she is and everything, and she starts crying and everything. And I'm just standing there. And it's the fact that about Carol wrote the book about the skull, and about the skull in Mitchell-Hedges, and her grandfather was the archaeologist. And so that's how we met there. And then we went at her house. Behind it, there was some of the ancient ruins, because in that area, Copan, you can pretty much throw a rock in any direction and you'll hit some kind of a area where there's some kind of a ruins there, because it was so much stuff at one time. And so there was the place, it's called the birthing place, and it was a place where they said all the royalty and the high priest and the priest would come for birthing. But what it really was, it was a place where they would connect with what they would be the gods, the ETs or whatever you say. They would connect with them on there, and they bring the knowledge through at that point.
Mm.
And so met with them, and then they wanted Sammy to come up and meet with them too. So the next day we got the car and we were driving up the hill, almost went off the cliff, but we got there and found out some more things. I guess what it was is it was at the time when they had just found the Red Lady of Copan, and it was in National Geographic on the cover.
Mm.
And we met with the archaeologist there, and they were very familiar with FA and the work he did in the Belize. And so, but the interesting thing is, Carol, being the psychic she was, she went and told him all the stuff that was inside the chamber where the Red Lady was found and where it was laid. And, the thing is that nobody had, except for the archaeologists and a few other people, has any knowledge, because it was just found and they have it off limits. But the things that got them the most, they told her where there was more. She told them where there was more stuff that they hadn't found yet, and so they were really blown away with that. So that was a quite interesting trip. But then that was all of it. Then we drove back to the main airport, and then we flew to Rotan. And Rotan's an area where Mitchell-Hedges found a lot of artifacts, a lot of the artifacts that connected to pre-Mayan artifacts. And so there was a number of little islands off there, and the Rotan was the one of the largest. And so we flew in there, and just happened we found a taxi driver, the little taxi driver, and he because of Anna Mitchell-Hedges, he was going to take us anywhere. So he took us back to Port Royal. That's where Mitchell-Hedges had his boat out there. It was right by where Morgan the Pirate had his fortification on this little island right off the coast. So we got to where it was, and it was like straight down the side of a hill. I mean, and we got the guy's car, and the guy drove it down the hill, and we drove down to the lake. No real roads, just knocking over little bushes and stuff. And we got down there, and there was nothing there. It was completely just the ocean was there, or really a bay, and just a lot of wooded area. It was jungle. And then there was a little pier that I found, and so I separated and I went out on the pier. And as I was out there, there was a guy in a boat coming by, and I waved him down, and he came over to us. We explained the story and Anna and everything. And Morgan the Pirate's island was right. You could see it from there. So we got him to take us out to the island. And then we met with the people that had bought it and were living there. And we found there was the old powder where they stored all their gunpowder. It was a big wooden stone structure where the gunpowder was stored. And so we got to see that, and I have pictures of it. I have pictures of Mitchell-Hedges on top of it back in the 30s, and I have pictures of me in the 90s on top of it. So I think, hey, that's cool.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and then we left there, but had a little.
Bill, I have to stop you for a second.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're out of time. But we got to have you back and tell us more about that story. See? Now, now you're getting hooked. All right. Thank you. And, everyone, please check him out. Check the event out. And
if you can, go.
Yes, please. It's a wonderful event. And, something that should never miss. Love you all. Bless you.
Much love from me and the star. We send you love.